get into the big topic of open source, something that we actually say.
This is so awesome.
We are an open culture that believes in
what is that process that a developer, or let's say,
as the Kubernetes ecosystem really boomed.
Hello, GitOpsians. Christian missed that, by the way. He failed to watch episode 42 for GitOps Guide to the Galaxy. All of the shame.
All the shame, yes.
You missed the fact that I've decided to call our audience GitOpsians.
See, I missed one episode and it's like a whole new show.
Yeah, everything changes. I've changed everything. So I hope not. Who is that dude? I don't know, man. Some stranger
who knows?
crashed our stream.
Some stranger wandered on to the stream. So yeah.
Let's see. Announcements. I don't have a lot of announcements this week. It's sort of the same as previous stream. I will be speaking at DevConf US in Boston next week on the 18th. I will be giving a reprise of my talk, Helm and Back Again. If you didn't see that I posted it on Twitter after last stream, I did. It's there. Otherwise, you can, catch the updated version. Not that updated. Helm hasn't changed that much since February, but updated version of the talk. They'll post recordings after the fact. I think you can watch it online for free, too. I think they're streaming all the talks, too. So
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah,
it's a great talk, by the way, everyone.
That's such a fun talk because I made Christian do it, and then I made Christian do it with me.
Yeah.
I'll be giving it by myself this time, though, which is nowhere near as fun. Shame on you.
Yes.
Other announcements. Your birthday's coming up soon.
Yes, it is. My birthday is on the 14th, Sunday. So
happy birthday.
Thank you. I'm turning 20 for the 10th time.
Yeah.
20th time? Jesus.
20 for the 20th time? Okay. We're more similar in age than that, but I'll let you pretend you're that old.
Yeah, exactly. That's right. Makes me more distinguished, I guess.
Yes, distinguished. We're not old, we're distinguished. There we go. That said, Christian, hi.
Yes, hi. It's I was so excited about this stream because I get to come back on. It's been kind of a while since I've been streaming, right? Since I've done, I've caught a lot of the streams for Red Hat streaming, obviously, other than the one I missed last one I missed of yours. So I take all the shame for that. I also hopped on Andrew's. I'm always on the chat there. I think R-Hope9, we were chatting on his stream this past Wednesday. But yeah, it feels great to be back. R-Hope9, who is that dude? Feels great to be back. I feel happy. I got new headphones and this feels a little weird. It feels like you're in my head.
I'm always in your head. That's not unusual.
Yes. Yeah, it's exactly.
That my voice is
yeah, exactly. Your voice is all the time in my head is critiquing me. So your critiques are always there.
Somebody
even
has
when
to
you're
do
not
it.
around. So it's not a pretty job, right? But someone has to do it. And so yeah, I'm glad to be back. I'm here to talk about as if unless you're living under a rock, I joined Codefresh, right, as a developer, as a developer experience lead there. Still in the GitOps world, still in the Argo world. So I haven't gone too far, especially if you're on the CNCF Slack, the Kate Slack. I'm on that all the time. So, but yeah, so I'm here to talk about some of the things we've been working on at Codefresh, and part of one of the releases that we did, what we call the hosted runtime, or hosted GitOps, and so. But before I get to that, I actually wrote a book right before I left the Red Hat, and they published it, right? So it's called the Path to GitOps. It's a free ebook. So Stephanie says she's going to drop it in the chat. So link to that, Path to GitOps. I know you had you had the other guy
Getting GitOps with Vanya.
getting GitOps. Yes, right.
Yeah.
That's right. And this one is actually more high level. The path to GitOps is actually a collection of conversations I've had with people, like so many questions, like, well, how do I get started with GitOps, or what do I do with this, or what if there's like, you know what? Let me just collect all those thoughts into a book. And so that find that in the chat. It's on the developers.redhat.com. So get that. It's been I've heard good things, so it feels good, right? It always feels good to have the feedback, right? So if you read it, you have feedback, catch me on Twitter. It's probably the best way, or unless you're on the CNCF Slack. Another thing we've been working on, Codefresh with Red Hat and Intuit, Acuity, everyone in the Argo community is ArgoCon. ArgoCon's coming. This is the first in-person version.
Yeah, it was supposed to be last time, and then it couldn't be, which was a disappointment. Is it going to be in the Bay Area again?
Yes, so it's going to be in the Bay Area in Mountain View. So,
do you know how far Mountain View is from me?
From where you are, yeah. I was gonna. It's not even. It's like on the other side of the bay for you. You have to like cross San Francisco.
No, it's
right?
terrible. I have to drive like
terrible.
50 minutes if there's no traffic. I don't want to do that. I might do it anyway, but I don't want.
You might do it. Well, there's a virtual component there. So ArgoCon, there's a virtual component. So virtual component's free, but it's in person as well. It's a 3-day event. It's on the so September 19th through the 21st. The day 0 is kind of like a contributor summit, but everyone's welcome. Day 1 is the actual events with keynotes and user end talks, networking, all that fun stuff. And then day 0 is certification and workshops by vendors, right? So you can like choose your own vendor. Red Hat's having a Dev Nation, right? So Dev Nation. And there's other ones as well, right? Acuity is doing one. Adobe is having a interesting workshop. They're going to talk about how they built a platform using Argo project and Codefresh. So we are holding our certification course. So you can get. So for those that you don't know, we have a certification for GitOps, right? So GitOps certified with Argo. Provided by Codefresh. Level 1 is out now, so you can take that. At ArgoCon, we're going to release level 2, right? So then at ArgoCon, so that's the day. If you want to take it, that'll be the first day it's available. You'll be able to take it on the day 2 event at ArgoCon. So for those of you already taken it, you can get level 2. If you haven't taken it, Stephanie's going to drop that link to get certified. It's free, right? So it's free. You don't have to pay anything. You just have to do the work. I guess you pay in that you actually have to do the work.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta
get
put
certified,
the time into it. Like there's an effort.
Yeah.
That sounds like a fun thing I might consider doing, and all that immense free time that I have.
Yes, yeah. Yes, exactly. So since you're sitting there doing nothing.
Exactly. They're doing not a thing. No things being done here. I'm gonna interact with the chat a little bit because our audience is of course always so lively. So first of all, thank you for respecting my link poster. I'm going to my husband bought me that, and then I was like, I don't know what to do with this. I'm going to set it here, and it was there for a stream, and now he lives there. He just lives there forever. There was no other home for him. And then to our Hope 9's question, no, I turned on the mirror camera setting specifically for you after last stream, and my dyslexia cannot handle this. I actually have a literal headache trying to figure out which hand goes where.
Which hand goes where? That's right. Well, you have to okay, which one's left?
No, but so I usually do, right? I do the left, right. I saw somebody had tattooed left and right on their hands, and I was like, oh my god, that's awesome. Brilliant.
Yes.
I'm somebody who needs that. So
exactly.
yeah,
that's actually pretty cool.
I may not actually mirror the camera next stream though, because this is literally causing me physical pain.
Yeah.
Dyslexia is not fun. It is really, there's
No,
such a
no.
component to it about how my brain processes the visuals.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I thought I would try it so that people could actually read my background.
Gotcha. But then at that point, you know, you don't want to tip over, right? You don't want
No,
to because
I have
get
vertigo.
dizzy, right? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you don't want to fall over.
So, you know, it's one of those things. Being dyslexic is such an adventure. Because it's always so many like things that I'm just like, I don't know what my brain's gonna ruin today for me. But it picks something every day to ruin. Every day. You know, I actually have trouble spelling my own name sometimes, or deciphering if my own name is spelled correctly because of how spiky my name is.
Oh yeah, it's like a mountain. Yeah, it's like a mountain. Yeah.
Very uniform in shape. I have trouble figuring out if there's the right numbers, the right number of I's and L's in there, and I just give up. That's why I ask people to call me Hill, H-I-L.
Yeah.
Because I don't have to figure out if you've misspelled my name. You don't have to figure out if you've misspelled my name. We're all good. It's just 3 letters.
Everyone's well, it's ironically your name is like a hill, so it's like it fits, right? It's
it does. So yeah, red and green sweatbands is a great idea. Okay, Dave. Well, you can send the headache medicine to my house.
That's right. Yeah, exactly.
Like I'm gonna need headache and anti-nausea medicine. I really wish I were joking, but I'm not.
Well, you can strap yourself in as well, right? You need like a seatbelt. Yeah, like a seatbelt on the chair, so that way you know you'll be all right.
I'm just trying to only look at you and not at all see myself, which is actually really difficult. But I cut you off because I wanted to talk to people because that's why we're here. So let's let you get through. I know you have a demo for us at a certain point.
Yeah. So first, just kind of a little thing that not only we working on the certification, GitOps certified with Argo over at Codefresh, but we also released our hosted GitOps offering, right? So hosted GitOps is essentially a managed service or managed Argo CD in a hub and spoke design where you can manage your applications in a GitOps way, right? Like with Argo CD, using Argo CD in the backend, but in a GitOps way. So I don't know. I think I've had a few blogs out there, and I've had a few. I did a stream many years ago about like there's a few ways to use Argo CD, and like one of them's like GitOps friendly, and one of them isn't. And it's not necessarily that it's bad, right? Because Argo CD is just it's just a tool, right? And you can just use it however it works for you. But you know, there's if you want a GitOps workflow, there's like a way you need to use it, right? And so that's part of the thing that here at Codefresh, what we're doing in the hosted GitOps is that we want to keep GitOps compliant, right? We're building a GitOps platform and not necessarily an Argo platform. We're just using Argo project as the means to get there. But first and foremost is like GitOps compliant, right? And so that's kind of the we released the hosted GitOps offering a few weeks ago. It was July 28th, I believe. No, it was in mid-July, right? It was like July, something. Or I'm looking at my calendar. I'm like this, but it's available now.
Me. I wasn't watching.
Yeah. By the way, I think that was the reason why I missed your stream is because I was actually doing the launch event. But and so this is you can sign up codefresh.io. Sign up for free. It's free to use, right? So it's like we have a free tier, and you can get up, add a few clusters, kind of just see how it works. And what's really cool about it is that it's platform agnostic, right? And so it's EKS, AKS, whatever, right? But here, GitOps Guide to the Galaxy, we're Red Hat, right? You can also deploy it onto OpenShift, right? And that's kind of the idea there is that you have a platform that, if you have OpenShift clusters mixed with other Kubernetes type of clusters, you can manage it in a GitOps way. So I'm more of the demo type of person. I'm more in the show me state, right? Who was Michigan? What do they call it? The show me state. I forget what it was.
No idea. No, this is
That's
not.
that's an
aware
old.
of.
That is an old reference. Anyone
Well,
in
you're
the
an old
chat.
person, as we
Yeah, I know.
decided.
Yeah, as we decided. Yeah, anyone in the stream, if you know what I'm talking about, the show me state, drop it in there. And Larry's on. Hello, Larry. So Larry was someone I helped out on the CNCF Slack. So thank you for joining.
I love the CNCF Slack.
Oh, it's amazing, right?
Yeah.
You can find help with anything, right? So everyone like knows the Kubernetes Slack, which is cool, right? For like Kubernetes things, but like for the CNCF Slack is the entire ecosystem. If I need help with, Prometheus or whatever, or if I need help, with any other of the Fluent D or something, like they're there. Everyone's there. So it's kind of like a one-stop shop. So
I actually was just helping out somebody with their Argo CD deployment on the CNCF Slack the other day.
That was a long thread. Yeah, you showed me.
I felt like a real engineer. Sometimes I don't feel like a real engineer. And I'm not with the way my job is. I'm not like super hands-on keyboard a lot these days.
You're hands-on people.
Man, I'm hands-on people, exactly. That sounds terrible. Actually, no.
Yeah, no, yeah, it's all right. We need another term. We need another term. Yeah, we need another term.
Fix that in post.
I was gonna say, post production, we'll fix it.
Yeah. So but I'm really more about like bigger picture help and people and so forth. So to just kind of troubleshoot that and help that person get to get to the correct fix. Especially end of day when my brain wasn't even kind of working. I was like, wow, I am a real ops person. I feel so good right now.
That's
so
right. Yeah. You're like, yay.
Thank you to that person for making me feel like a real engineer.
Fun times. But yeah, CNCF Slack. So we're there. That's where, Hilliary gives me crap. So you can go ahead and go there and do the same.
I give you crap on Facebook, on Instagram, via text.
Yeah, on the text.
Slack, the CNCF Slack. Like, I know how to find you in person.
Yeah, exactly. Like my front door, you're gonna be knocking one day.
Yeah.
Like I haven't heard from you, so I'm here in person.
Yeah, no, if I don't hear from you, I'll just show up. You only live like 30 minutes from my grandparents. I will be there.
Yeah, you exactly.
All right. For those folks who don't know, Christian and I have been friends for more than 10 years.
Yeah. It's a while.
It's a long time. It's I don't have but a handful of relationships that are this old.
Yeah. I think other than one other person, I think I've known you the longest.
Yeah,
in terms of circle of my friends. Yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty serious.
So yeah, that's serious stuff.
We might be besties.
We might be, yeah. Like we're like one step away, I think. So the show me state, if anyone knows, no one has posted, so I think like that just shows my age. But I'm gonna share my screen here, so it kind of just walk you through on how this looks like. Not only using the Codefresh platform, but also deploying it to OpenShift. So when you sign up with Codefresh.io, right, and you brings you here to the home screen, it'll ask you to install a hosted runtime, right? So Codefresh has a concept of runtime. So the runtime is basically an opinionated deployment of Argo CD. So you can install the runtime on your own Kubernetes cluster, right, and manage it on-prem. Or now you can do a hosted runtime where it's like, we'll just manage it for you. Don't worry about it. We'll take care of everything. All that fun stuff for you. And so, it's kind of like easy as 1, 2, 3 sort of thing. It's like first you install a runtime, you connect to a Git provider, right? And once you connect to the Git provider, right, you just via token, right? It's just I'm going to use GitHub, but you can use like GitLab or Bitbucket or whatever. And then you connect to a Kubernetes cluster.
I'm sorry. I'm going to back you up a little bit because we got a question in the chat. Wait, one of our GitOpsian friends here joined a little late, and they were asking, is Codefresh similar to Argo CD?
Yeah. So it uses Argo CD in the back, right? So it's like when you're making comparisons, right? It's like Codefresh is to Argo CD what OpenShift is to Kubernetes, right? It uses Argo CD, and in fact, it is at its core the Argo, not only Argo CD, but like the different Argo projects working together. It's just an opinionated install deployment of Argo CD, essentially. So if you're going to make comparisons, that's kind of like the comparison. You have OpenShift, Kubernetes, Codefresh, and Argo CD. So that's kind of the long-winded answer for that. There's even a longer-winded answer to that, but
yeah, because the longer-winded answer is what are the opinions, right? And you have to
yes, yeah,
those things.
So going to those things, and you just gonna it's like okay, or like with OpenShift. Well, let me tell you about the operator framework, and that's like a 3-hour conversation. Right?
Yeah, no, it's
yeah.
So I don't know if you know this, Christian. I'm actually changing roles within Red Hat. So moving from hands-on SRE work to strategic role. So helping engineering teams to get ready for SRE support, really. And so one of the things that I'm talking to people about is, okay, if you've programmed for Kubernetes, that's great. OpenShift has opinions. Here's what they are. And so talking through the operators and also just the operators that ship with base OpenShift. Geez, that's hard to say.
Wow.
So when you're getting into the realm of things that are opinionated, those opinions, I always say this: choose your technical debt wisely. If those opinions really like lift you, then then you're going to want them. But everything is a double-edged sword.
Yes, everything is exactly. Yeah, your butter knives are double-edged here. So so it's 1, 2, 3. You have a Git provider. We'll go through that in a bit, but really, it's click of a button, easy, right? So this takes us a little while to provision here. It says up to 10 minutes. It's really more like 2 to 3 minutes. And it's going to ask you to connect to a Git provider. I actually should show you what you need to do here. So let's go to settings. And then they always move this, by the way.
Oh my God, how many times has his moved?
Yes, I know. There we go. But I've done this before, right? And so, that's my token expired. Okay. And when you generate a new token, you need this repo access, and then you need there's another. Actually, I can just show you the one I have now.
Yeah, I think it'll show us the settings without revealing the token, which is better.
Yeah, like basically it tells you. Yeah, I mean, if to regenerate the token, that's always a pain, but it's like the most secure thing you could do. There we go. Repo hook, right? To do a repo hook. So full control of repository hooks and full control of the repository. That's the type of token it needs for Codefresh. So, and so there are different integrations with the platform, especially with the hosted runtime. There are integrations to like Jenkins, right? So with part of the hosted runtime is bring your own CI system. So traditionally, Codefresh has been very opinionated in what CI you use. And that opinion was Argo Workflows. We've since then added integrations to CI, right? Because as Hilliary says, choose your tech debt wisely. Some people just have like, it's gonna take a long time. Like, like while this is running, we Hilliary can talk, and I can talk about. There's so much built into CI right now.
Oh yeah,
and it's gonna take a long time to transition to something like Tecton or GitHub Actions or Jenkins X or some of these cloud native CI systems. It's almost like you need to like just greenfield, right? Like your newer applications on it and kind of just leave. Like the custom scripting you've done with Jenkins. I've seen some of those. Those are that you've done, Hilliary. It's just those. A lot of people have a lot of custom scripting in Jenkins.
Yeah. I'm thankful I don't have to maintain any of that myself anymore. I'm like plugged into, you know, a holistic thing that has lots of people working on it. But I've had to be the person like maintaining, building and maintaining all that stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, when we did our talk at GitOps Con in Valencia, right? And I'd asked the audience, I said, who here has had to daisy chain Jenkins jobs together? And only like 6 people raised their hands. I was like, that is the most perfect illustration of how far CI has come. And CI is my favorite part of CICD, right? Because how you deliver your application at the end of the day is there's so many different methods, and there's so many like tools and reasons why you would do one over the other, or like if you have something embedded, or maybe you're going to use a CDN and actually like, or maybe like things are going to go and grab it instead of you actually shipping it, like whatever that is, right? But for CI, it's just like the amount of stuff that goes into CI to make sure that what you're shipping is worthwhile. Like it's an entire additional class of software engineering.
Oh yeah. Well, we talked about like decoupling the two, because traditionally, like everyone saw it as one thing, and you know, at that like tech debt, right? At the time, that was fine, right? Like, you know, you had Jenkins, you had a platform that took care of it. It made sense, but they're really two different paradigms.
And well, that's why we ended up having to daisy chain the Jenkins jobs. Really, was we needed to be doing more, and we needed more steps and more environments and more ways of looking at things and interacting with things, and that was what kind of led to the daisy chaining of the jobs. Which, because people were doing it, became such a common practice. That's how we ended up moving into the concept of pipelines. And of course I say this, you know, as well, alongside all of this that is happening, a lot of what was driving it was actually test driven development and the uptick in the industry of automated testing and how to leverage automated testing very repeatedly. So
and reliably, right?
Reliably.
Reliably and repeatedly, for sure.
Well, because it'd be one of those things like, well, the tests pass on my machine.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
No, that doesn't help, right? What's the difference between the machines? Like, we can't be sitting there doing a comparative analysis of machines way back in days of yore, before we had, you know, infrastructure as code. Now you can actually kind of do that, because we're all working off of more regular environments. But way back in days of yore, folks. Yeah, I mean,
it wasn't easy.
It was not easy. That was literally why. So when Christian and I worked together, he was a sysadmin actually, and I was the lead for quality engineering. And the way we promoted the latest build to production was actually swapping DNS to point to the staging server clusters. It was 3 servers, and then like the previous version of production became like a holding in case we had to roll back by swapping DNS back.
Yeah.
And then like there was a third version. I don't even know if you remember this as well as I remember this. There was a third version. It was called holding.
Holding or something. Okay.
Yeah.
You're starting to jog my memory. Yeah.
It was 2 productions back, right? After we were sure we wouldn't have to roll back at all, that would get wiped and moved to become the new staging server. And this was all done through like network routing, not by like actually promoting or moving the application code more than the one time when we moved from the quality assurance integration environment into staging. That was the only time the code moved. The rest of it was all done with networking, because we had no faith in the regular, like that the environment could be regular. We had no faith.
There was no faith in it. Yeah. So the only way to have faith in it is like you were saying, but you know, was basically wiping the VM. Like that's kind of like the thing we did. We wiped the VM, reinstalled, you know, created a new VM, and then, you know, install the application on it, and then switch DNS. So, but now we do it with containers, and like it's like, man, I wish I had containers back then. It would have been so much easier.
I know, we would have spent so much less time. I remember how long it took me to set that up, and how many times we tested that all would work, and how long it would take to propagate the DNS so that we could see whether or not orders were impacted. That was our test on whether
that was part of the reason we had holding is because we needed those orders to flush out because of the DNS, right? We needed to like flush them out, and then as soon as there was had to make it through the whole pipeline. So
Yeah.
that was one reason. It wasn't part of the reason is to switch back, right? But the other part is like, well, we need to bleed those orders out, right? So so yeah. So now that you have the hosted runtime, so we have it, so it's up and running. You click view, and it's essentially as you see here, we have Argo CD, right, is part of that deployment. Argo workflows, Argo events, right? Sorry, down here, Argo events, but there's the events reporter. And also, I want to point out sealed secrets, right? And there's a reason why we manage the sealed secrets controller for you, so you don't have to manage that aspect of it, right? So then when you click a Git Provider, I'm doing GitHub, right? So if you didn't have anything, it'll just ask you for a token, and then you can put it in, and then you say, hey, here's my token. Here, authorize access. It should be authorized, so it should come back. And so then here, there's it tells you it's going to create 2 repos, right? So at the heart of the Codefresh platform is GitOps, and so there's going to be the internal runtime configuration, meaning the hosted GitOps deployment. We actually save all that in a Git repo, and so and anytime you add an application to the runtime, it saves it in another repo where you can manage your application. So this differentiates GitOps from ClickOps, right? So like we still have the ability to make changes in the UI, but that always translates into a Git commit on the back end. And so so instead of just like clicking your way through things and like, oh, we need to save this configuration to back it up. No, every time you do something on the Codefresh platform, it's going to be a Git commit somewhere on the back end. So so I do that, right? So it's going to set that up for me. That should be that should be quick. Let's go back to the main here. Shows my runtime, shows my tokens. I'm gonna go. I actually have. Let me do a git pull here because I already like pre-cloned some of this stuff. So, pull. I do origin, but so here we go. So we do a tree. So here, as you can see here, this is essentially the hosted runtime configuration, and so you'll see like the sealed secrets configuration here. Anytime you do something on the platform, anytime you click something or change something, it's going to commit it back to this repo. And then here, this is the application repo. There's nothing here because I haven't added any applications. So I kind of just wanted to emphasize the fact that this is a GitOps first approach. Is that anytime you do make a change, it's going to do a commit on the back end. So so now here I have an OpenShift cluster. I did 4.10. So I actually did 4.11. I'm like, oh, 4.11 came out. Let me see if the demo works. Since the PSP deprecation thing, like everything just like broke. And I was like, okay, well, I'm going to do it on 4.10 because I don't have time to change everything. But this is a 4.10 cluster. And I'm running on GCP. And then I do have there we go. Let me export. So I just installed it literally like an hour ago. OC version. Cool. And so in order to add a cluster, you click on connect to a cluster. There's a few things, right? So Codefresh has a CLI. Let me actually, it's not there yet. So you download CLI, right? For, it's just a Go binary. You generate an API token to interface with, yes, the SEC. Sorry, our hope night. It was the stuff we're talking about on Wednesday, or we as a, like I'm so active on the chat. I think it's we. Andrew was talking about on Wednesday about the SEC changes. Yeah, sorry.
Dude, spoilers. I haven't watched the stream yet.
It's really good because it talks about the deprecation, and you get to hear me whine. Or
Yeah,
read me whine.
we moved to OVN, right? Also with this release.
A lot of changes. So check out Andrew's stream. A lot of good stuff there. So first, I need to set my token for the Codefresh. I already installed the CF CLI. So here, all right, cool. Once I do that, then I can add the cluster. However, what I like to do is, let me clear this. OC config get context. Codefresh names the cluster after this name, so I always like renaming it. So let's do an OC config rename context admin. Let's do something fun. I don't know. OCP Galaxy. Let's do that. Or yeah,
that's a good one.
Why not? Why not? Okay, so then you do the command cf cluster add Codefresh hosted. So essentially, this looks at your kube config file and says which context do you want to add, right, to which cluster. So you do OCP Galaxy. You cross your fingers to make sure this works. There we go. So it basically creates a service account, creates a token, so that way it can interact with your cluster, and then adds it to the Codefresh platform. Once it does that, let me go back to my, where's my, oh, it's here. Yeah, so once it's there, it should show up here. It says it's successful, right? And so then you have your runtime components, right, which is all the opinionated Argo project deployment, but we're hosting it, right? So this is something you don't have to worry about, but this is just the health of those. The Git sources, right? So it just tells you the sources for this Git, and then any managed clusters that you have here, right? So if you click on runtimes and then hosted, there's a tree view that I like to show. Oh, it's probably back over here.
Would you believe this is actually the first time I've seen Codefresh?
That's real. That's Diego. Are you impressed yet?
I have no comments.
All right, so that means I have to work harder. So I have the runtime here. This is that configuration repo I was telling you about, and so it basically uses Argo CD to deploy other applications. So it uses an application to deploy other applications. Some people call it app of apps, but right now it just sees that application of applications as an app, right? And so and you'll see the inheritance there. So let's add an application. All right, application name. Let's do something fun.
Towel.
In
the episode 42, we talked about knowing where our towel was.
Oh, okay. There you go. Towel. Awesome.
So
I love it.
Where our towel is.
Yeah. So
no, it won't make sense to like nobody if they see this cold, but we'll know.
Okay, yeah, but we'll know. So let's do towel. So here I have an application already staged up here. So I'll just give it the Git repo. So this, if you've used Argo CD, this should be this should be familiar to you. Actually, I want to do main, not dev. Let's do main. Yeah, so this should be familiar to you if you've used Argo CD here. I actually have an OpenShift overlay, right? So I want to here my destination is OCP Galaxy, right? So this is the cluster. If I had other clusters, I can add them here in namespace. Let's call it towel. If I spell it right. Namespace towel. We're going full GitOps, automatic sync policy, prune resources, self-heal, all that good stuff. Let's auto create the namespace. Let's do a retry. I always like to do the retries, even though Kubernetes is stateless, right? Sometimes it just doesn't work the first time. Usually, you can save this here, but I actually want to go to the YAML, right? So you can see the YAML that it's going to produce. You need to add something for OpenShift. So for OpenShift specifically, not because of OpenShift, it's because the way I'd like to deploy things. So if we take a look here, overlays, OpenShift, route. If you look at the route here, I like to set the the spec host to blank, and this goes, Hillary, this goes back to like where the opinions are. So if you, well, first of all, route is the Ingress controller. It's a CRD in OpenShift, because way back, Kubernetes didn't have an ingress object, so Red Hat just had to create one, right? Because enterprises, like, they need it, right? And so when you set the route in an OpenShift to host equals blank, the operator, the OpenShift ingress operator will just put your wildcard DNS name in there, right? So this becomes a problem. Hey, Ryan, welcome. Cook the Ryan. So Ryan, I think, is an engineer at Red Hat. So spec, yeah. So the host, so that becomes a problem with Argo CD, because then Argo CD says, well, you told me you wanted it blank, but then now I have this FQDN, and it just says it's unsynced, right? So Argo has a configuration called ignore differences, right? And so you can just ignore those differences for that application, right? So I usually just add it down here. So GVK. So those who don't know, do you know what a GVK is? Know your GVKs, right? So GVK stands for group version kind, right? So this is the group, that's the version, that's the kind. Argo CD doesn't really care about the version, right? It just looks for the group. So let's copy that. I always like to do this just to show you my thought process. So first, that is the group. The version is, the kind is route. And then put that as a kind. And what I want to ignore is a spec host, right? So then I go spec host. And then that's it, right? And so when notice how it says commit here, it doesn't say save, it says commit, because again, to reiterate, everything that you're doing is a git commit back into the Git repo that it's saving all these configurations to. And so just have a nice config message. Towels are wet, I guess. I don't know, something fun. Let's commit that. Application now is committed to Git. So let's go down and let's do in the configuration here, let's do git pull. So if I do in the hosted runtime configuration, notice how it has the configuration for the managed cluster and what runtimes is managing here. So OCP Galaxy. If I do a git pull here, you'll see that now it has that towel.yaml. And so if you ever needed to like make an update, you can either use the UI or just make a commit to Git, right? So this is the actual YAML that we saw here. And so if you ever wanted to change something here, you could. And also, if you've added YAMLs in here, like if you add like an application set or another application, it'll just pick it up and deploy it. So you don't necessarily have to use the UI. You can just go full GitOps and just commit to the repos.
Yeah, I'm going to touch on something. Going back to the fact that there's no save, it's just a commit. I love that. I will commit the most broken stuff to my feature branches. Like, I will commit, this is maybe what this code will look like. This is maybe what this, like, I will commit everything, because the thought process is if I fall off of a bridge, somebody should be able to try to pick up where I left off. So I like commit messages where like everything is broken and like
or please do not merge, right?
Yeah,
those commit messages.
Ever merge this, and it's really just because I commit my thought processes, and not just like refined working.
Yes, exactly. Your thought process, exactly. So that way, like you said, like whoever, give the person that comes after you a fighting chance. So so here, so then here you can see like the tree, right? Like, so your application runtimes here, you have, and then the actual application. So here it'll mark it as this is your Git source, and this is your application that is being managed by the Git source. So here, if you click here, here is the information about this application. it'll tell you which service is running, kind of the basic Kubernetes, current state, everything is synced, right? The configuration, you can edit the configuration here, or make a git commit, right? So kind of the idea here, let's look at the route. So this is the desired state is blank, but the live state is, it has the FQDN, right? Because the controller, the operator did its job. But then you told Argo CD, ignore that. I know what I'm doing. So then if you go here, shows a blue box, right? Fun blue box. And this is the application, right? And so then now we have, like I mentioned before, we have integrations to other CI systems. Or other just integrations in general, right? So if I go to settings, come on, there we go. Integrations. You can see the integrations that I have active right now. So right now I have integrations with Jira, and you'll see why that's important in a minute. And in Docker Hub, we have other integrations, right? Like GCR or Quay or Key. I heard there was a spirited discussion on Memo List about whether it's Quay or Key, but we'll just let that die.
I actually did see that a discussion existed, but I didn't need to be Memo List famous for a second time. So
yes, that's right. That's right. So for those those Red Hatters or former Red Hatters as well know what we're talking about. So there's also integration with GitHub Actions, right? And so what's cool about the GitHub Actions is that we kind of have like a little wizard here, right? So you say, well, what's your runtime name? What's your, you can generate an API key if you'd like. You get, say I want to do Docker Hub integration, and I want my Jira integration, and you just click on generate manifest, and it's an actual, action, right? So then, so you can copy and paste it into your GitHub Actions. If you go to Action, you see more information. It's essentially this GitHub Action is the integration point into the Codefresh platform. So, like, if we want to test this out, let's go to VS Code, right? So that's here. On VS Code
you
things.
saw this, but I feel like you knew this person's real name, but we're gonna go with Leary as their name. Was asking if we could turn off the self-heal and test autosync by changing something actually in cluster.
Yeah, so if you turn off autosync, you just need to manually sync it, right? You need to click on the synchronize button. This is true for Argo CD as well, right? So like Argo CD or the Codefresh platform. You'll see here on Towel, you can click on synchronize, and it'll synchronize the changes. So you don't have to have autosync turned on. You can have it off and use something more of a traditional CICD. So this isn't GitOps. It would be more traditional CICD where you can have like a webhook in, fire off the sync. But to answer your question, Leary, you can have it. You can disable it, right? So that's fine, and then sync it afterwards. So.
Autosync enabled, self-heal disabled. Sorry.
Autosync. Yeah, so that that'll. Yeah, that I wonder if that'll create a. I would need to get back to you on that. Yeah, right, because it's like that's like kind of like a chicken. So like, it'll auto sync it, but so self heal would be, it'll just wait for the auto sync to happen instead of it syncing it right away, right? So like if you delete a deployment, you would have to wait for the reconciliation loop to come. So. Yeah, changes in the desired state will auto sync, correct. But changes in the state will not sync. That's correct. That's what happened. So if you're saying that, that's exactly what would happen. That's expected.
Yeah, that sounds like expected behavior. I'm not.
Yeah, it's expected behavior, definitely. But
he had some issues. I see. Yeah. I don't want to derail the entire demo. Can we have a follow-up Twitter thread? Is that too much to ask? Because we only have 10 minutes left here.
Yeah. So let's and we still need to go through the pipeline.
Yeah.
So here, let's do color. Like everyone does blue green. I'm gonna do yellow, right? So let's do yellow.
It's because yellow is my favorite color, and you secretly knew that.
That's right. It was all yellow, right? For you Coldplay fans. So
Oh, I was
let's
gonna say
do.
green and yellow, but never mind. Very
So
different genre.
doing git commit. It was get the stars. There we go. Something that we know. Stars, if I can spell it right. I sign all my commits. Everyone should too. So git. Oops. Now let's push it. There has to be a VS. Someone tell me a VS Code plugin to do all of that automatically for me. Last time I asked, there wasn't a plugin. Maybe there's a plugin now. But once I do that, it'll fire off. You know, this should be familiar for anyone who's worked with GitHub Actions, right? Right. It'll fire off this this build, right? So what does the build actually do? So let's look at my GitHub Workflows, my development workflow. So for those, have you worked with Tecton or if you worked with GitHub Actions, this all should be familiar to you, but kind of just from a high level, right? You know, I check out the repo, I set some vars that I'm going to use later on, and then I actually build a container, right? So I log into Docker and I build a container and I push it, right? So I do Docker build container file, the name of the image, goes up there, push that. And then I use customize. So here you see I have OpenShift and I do a customized edit and I set the image. So I just build the application and then I push it up using a specific tag. I'm going to now tell customize to update my deployment with that image. And then I commit that directly to dev because it's dev, right? Who cares? I want to see that right away. As you can see here, GitHub ref, and I'm working off the dev branch, so it'll push that. But then I use the GHCLI to create a PR into main because I want main to be updated, but I want to gate it, right? I don't want to go full into production just yet. I want to be able to review this PR. So, and then the last step was that integration I was telling you about, right? So you tell Codefresh, all right, here's my runtime host, here's my token. I'm using Docker Hub. I'm also using Jira. And here's you know, my Jira integration, and here is the Jira issue that I'm tracking based on that. Right? Basically, you just give Codefresh enough information so it can glean everything and just collect that for you into the platform. And so, what failed here? Source error not found. Oh, is it because you know what I did? Let's do some live debugging. Let's go. What I did here.
Just like old times, live debugging.
Live debugging, yeah. What I did here.
About this.
Yeah, I think it's because I reset my token by accident.
Oh, that sounds like something you would do.
That does sound like something I would do.
I mean, I'm still never going to let you live down your lack of git ignore file.
Yes, that's right. Let's go back to main. Yeah, and then so for here, actually, can I do this without you watching? Let's see here.
The demo gods have spoken. It's true.
The demo gods have spoken. Let's go to Action General.
Here, if you want to not show your screen for a second, I can discuss the time I was at MemoList Famous in broad terms.
Yeah, in broad terms. Yeah, that was always.
Terms.
Where is the Actions? General.
What are you trying to do here?
Where do you put your secrets in GitHub?
I mean, there's the little secrets thing there. Which secrets are you looking for?
For Actions. Wait, is there a secrets?
Yeah, down 2. One more.
Oh.
No, run under deploy.
Oh, okay, perfect. Thank you. Codefresh token. Can we update this here? Oh, okay. I have to move that guy out here. Update secret.
Nice.
Okay,
let me see.
cool.
What was I a MemoList famous for? Like, I know what I was MemoList famous for. How would I put it? There was a contentious thread in which
to put it lightly.
in which it was suggested that certain people of a gender demographic were less equipped to be engineers than other people of a gender demographic.
Yeah.
And I took issue with that. And that's how I became Memolist famous 3 months into my employment at Red Hat.
That's right. I remember that. All right, let's fire that off. Okay. So hopefully that was it. Let me cancel this PR. So it did do the PR. It just didn't report the image information. So let's delete this PR, close pull request. I closed my own pull request. So I hope that was a long time ago.
Nope, it was not a long time ago.
it was like this year, right?
No, March
last year. It was
March
last year.
Of last year, yeah. I met all of my executive upline. But they were great, extremely supportive. I will say the thread was a train wreck. The response from management was better than any I would have ever experienced in previous jobs. Of course,
you've had some pretty crap. Like you had the WIT network. You did that presentation when you talked about your history, and you had some pretty crappy experiences. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, no, I've had some not so great ones. Getting demoted while on maternity leave, I think, still takes the cake for lousiest treatment. But I mean, the bar was not high.
Yes, that's true. Let's see here. Let's see in the last 5 minutes we can get the success here. Notify Codefresh platform. I think this is where it barfed last time. So let's see here.
That is where it had a little hiccup.
Yeah.
Tiny failure.
Well, I think it's because I changed the token. We'll see here. Yeah, no.
I don't know.
It does do okay. I would have to debug this later. So let's go to the pull request aspect of it. So yeah, so like you see all the commits I had, right? Confirm merge, right? We merged the pull request. I merged my own pull request, and but I'm fair. I even delete my own pull request. So here, let's oops. There we go. Let's go to the synchronize, so that way we're not just waiting. Oops. There we go. I misclicked. So let's sync. Next, let's sync all. Oh, this is the wrong. No wonder it's not working. I clicked the wrong guy. There we go. It probably already synced by now.
It's always
yes, it
something
did.
silly.
Yeah. So once it's updated, right? I can do that, and then so that it integrates with the that's how it integrates with the GitHub Actions, right? And so this is kind of like the that integration point with your CI system. And another thing, so like 2 quick points, because I know we're running out of time here, is that what's cool about the platform is that you can click on the image and it tells you where it's deployed, right? So like it's saying, hey, given this image, where is it running in my platform, right? And so that's kind of one of the other things. And the other is DORA metrics, right? And so the DORA metrics isn't, for my account, isn't so I don't have a lot on here, so it's not so here. So interesting, but I do want to show you the DORA metrics for the platform on something that actually does run here. So you can see that the deployment frequency I deploy about like 5 times for this account, deploys about 5 times a day. Lead time for changes is about a day and a day and a half, it looks like. The failure rate, right? It gives you the failure rate and your time to restore service. So that's all provided in the platform for you. So you get the DORA metrics out of the box for you. So, and of course you can, sort it by runtime, by cluster, by application. right? So we can do, let's go here. That doesn't have anything. Oops.
I always really
There we go.
appreciate these single pane of glass UIs
Yeah.
because I'm like, I just like not having to think.
Yes, exactly. I like that it collects. I want it to collect for me, right? And
Yeah.
so that's kind of to go overview. Let's see here. Let's see if the towel's there, right? Obviously, there's towel, and then you can use the OpenShift platform, right, to view these the workloads as well. So that's kind of it. The hosted platform. So this Codefresh hosted platform based on Argo CD, and try it out for free. Yeah, codefresh.io. And if you're a Red Hat customer, you can connect your OpenShift clusters to it.
Yeah, that's the best part. Well, Christian, our hour has expired.
Has it? Yes, it has. On the dot too. Look at that.
Yeah, it has. So, unfortunately, I regret to say that it's going to be time for us to sign off. But it was great to have you back, just like old times. Everybody here missed you.
Yep.
I didn't because I talk to you almost every day. But
yes, exactly.
Me, have I missed you at all? I don't know. It's like you weren't.
Yeah, I haven't missed you at all. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But we certainly miss having you on the stream. We hope to have you back again for other cool things. If there are questions that we didn't get to, please hit us on Twitter. We will answer them in retrospect. Of course, please like and subscribe to the stream so that they keep letting me do it. If that kind of helps. And we will be back in 2 weeks to talk about actually the 31st birthday of Linux. And
wow.
Yeah. Yes, I am on Twitter. Stephanie, can you post my Twitter? It's like into Caffeinate or something. I don't even remember. I am on Twitter. Christian's on Twitter. We'll be back in 2 weeks. We're going to be talking about it's 31 flavors of Linux in 31 minutes, which is a lie because the stream is an hour. But we're going to be just looking at like Linux for funsies. For those of you who don't know, I started off my career by attending a Linux user group in the San Fernando Valley. So Linux has been, obviously Red Hat is Linux, but
Yeah. San Fernando Valley is so hot there. I imagine it'd be hot right now. And Encino, right? You were like Encino or something like that?
I was Woodland Hills, and it was very, very warm.
Yes.
But I like that, so it was fine for me.
Oh, okay.
So yes, thank you everybody for joining. Thank you, of course, Stephanie, for all of her hard work as our amazing producer. Again, please don't forget to like, subscribe, follow us on Twitter, add us on LinkedIn. I don't know if Christian does that. You can add me on LinkedIn. I don't care. I accept most requests. And
you can follow me on LinkedIn. You have to turn on the follow button. You can follow me.
Yeah, I forgot they added that. Yeah, you can just follow too. We post things. And so we will see you there. I said it earlier in the stream, but I typically sign off with it now. Thanks for joining, and remember, choose your tech debt wisely. We'll catch you in 2 weeks.